We want to turn quickly to the latest out of Minnesota, where the streets of Brooklyn Center were flooded with protesters again last night in the wake of the police shooting of Daunte Wright. Police ordered protesters to disband more than an hour before the curfew began, calling the gathering unlawful. That led to further confrontations as protesters threw rocks and launched fireworks at police officers, who responded with gas grenades and flashbangs in an attempt to disperse the crowd. Protesters earlier in the day were peaceful, with activists calling for reform and justice. The curfew in Minneapolis does not lift until 6 a.m. Central Time this morning. What a day, Willie.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Minnesota police officer that shot and killed 20-year-old Daunte Wright over the weekend has resigned from the Brooklyn Center police force. Her resignation letter reads, quote, "I have loved every minute of being a police officer and serving this community to the best of my ability, but I believe it is in the best interest of the community, the department, and my fellow officers if I resign immediately." 26-year veteran officer Kim Potter fatally shot Wright during a traffic stop on Sunday. Earlier this week, the city's police chief said he thought Potter made a mistake by shooting Wright when she meant to grab her taser instead. The mayor of Brooklyn Center says he hopes her resignation will help to relieve tensions in the city, but declined to answer when asked if Potter's resignation, instead of being fired, meant she could move to another police force or to collect a pension.
You know, I'm hoping that this will help bring some calm to the community. Although, you know, I think ultimately people want justice. They want, you know, full accountability under the law. And so that's what we're going to continue to work for. We have to, you know, make sure that justice is served, justice is done. Daunte Wright, you know, deserves that. His family deserves that.
Mayor also announced Police Chief Tim Gannon also would be resigning. So, Rev, let's talk about how this is playing out in Minnesota right now with what we've seen from the resignation of the officer, the resignation of the police chief, the explanation that still defies belief to a lot of people that the officer thought that her gun actually was the taser, despite all the training that she's had. Where do you see this headed from here, and what's your message to everyone in Minnesota this morning?
I've talked to the father of Daunte Wright, and I've talked to his girlfriend who was there.
Yeah.
And clearly everyone is saying that it is hard to even imagine a 26-year veteran that doesn't know the difference in the weight and size of a gun and a taser, and that you hold one on the prominent side of your body and the other on the opposite side. So there's a lot of disbelief there. We will know probably, maybe as early as today, whether or not the prosecutor is going to try to bring charges of any kind in that regard. Attorney Benjamin Crump, who is the one of the attorneys for the family, is flown to New York last night to be with me for the opening of National Action Network's convention today, and we'll respond to that today. But I think that what really is underscoring here is that at the same time, 10 miles away, you have the trial of the officer that killed the George Floyd. At the same time, you have in Kenosha, Wisconsin, the policeman that shot, that was filmed in the back, this young man in Kenosha, Wisconsin last year, was returned to duty yesterday with no discipline. All of this compounds a real problem of police accountability in the country. So what we're seeing played out in the streets in Minnesota, in Brooklyn Center, is really reflective of people around the country saying enough is enough. When are police held accountable at any level, whether it is a taser that they say is a mistake in Brooklyn Brooklyn Center, or whether it is knee on your neck in Minneapolis, or whether it is Jacob Blake in Kenosha, and whether it's Breonna Taylor in Louisville. All of this within the last 6 months during a pandemic. At what point do we stop? And that's what the challenge, I think, is in front of the government. And I think that's what's being reflected by many of us at different levels of the black community.
You mentioned George Floyd and the trial of Officer Chauvin. The defense has now picked up and started its case. The prosecution put witness after witness after witness in front of the jury who said, including, by the way, Officer Chauvin's own supervisors, his police chief, who said that was a violation of policy. That's not what we teach in our use of force. Doctors, cardiologists saying he died because he didn't have oxygen to his brain. What is your expectation of how this may play out? I think there are a lot of people holding their breath right now saying, yes, the prosecution put out a good case, but we've seen this movie before.
We have, and I am cautiously optimistic. I talk with the family every day. I've gone out 2 or 3 times. I'll be going out right after NAN's convention. And I've said to them that I believe the case is strong, but I've seen strong cases before. And all I can do is hope and pray, not for a victory, but for the country to show that we have the capacity of holding people accountable. If you have a man, I think the thing that we've not looked at, Willie, is that if you had a man that gave a $20 bill that was counterfeit, that obviously the person that he gave it to in the store said, well, I don't even know if he knew it was counterfeit. He went and sat in the car in the front of the store with enough time where the police were called and came. So he wasn't running from anything. But even if he knew it was counterfeit, you would have walked up to him and said, did you know this was counterfeit? Do you have good money to pay for the pack of cigarettes? You wouldn't arrest him, less known, handcuff him and drag him to the ground. So the whole overreaction leans toward that there was some intent here to do harm, which ultimately led to his death. If that can't be prosecuted, what are we saying to everybody?
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.